Welcome to another episode of the Bear Trap, a Bears podcast by a Bears fan. I'm your host, Terry, and today talking about, real quick, should the Bears trade for Jalen Ramsey? So if you don't know, Jalen Ramsey of the Jacksonville Jaguars requested a trade that got leaked, made public. Everybody's speculating, where he'll end up or if the Jags will actually trade him. There's a lot of conflicting reports as usual, but it, of course, seems like the Jags are trying to resolve the situation. But it's very potential that he could be traded. So let me go ahead and jump in because I, usually don't get into this whenever someone gets cut or whatever, because inevitably it's not just Bears fans, but every fan. So when someone gets cut or anything, oh, should we go get Eli Manning? Oh, should we sign Antonio Brown? Oh, should we sign this person? Should we do this? And I'm just like, okay, we don't need every single person that becomes available. A top tier corner, however, is not something that usually becomes available at that young of an age in his prime. And so it seems as if the Jags might be looking to do it. And if that's the case, I say, yeah, we should throw our hat in the ring. So then the question becomes, what will we give up to get Jalen? Or what should we give up? Some people ask me, like, what do I think it would take? I don't know. I have no clue. I'm not in those conversations, but I would know what I would give up or what I wouldn't give up. And so for me, it comes down to the contract. We have some cap space. It's not like we have zero cap space, but it's not a whole bunch of cap space. But we got space to make things work, most definitely. But if that's not a contract that we can get done right away, Jalen Ramsey is under his current contract for this year and next year. And so if you acquired him now, you would essentially have him for about 2 years of service before he's an unrestricted free agent. And so that would be the catch-all for me, or not the catch-all, but the caveat for me. It would be like, okay, if we're trading for him on his current contract, there's a line of what I would give up. If I'm trading for him with a deal done, then there's a line of what I would give up. If we're getting him with a new deal that we like, honestly, I would give up our 2 second-round picks, our pick plus the Raiders pick, I believe. And then I would give up our 2021 first-round pick. That's what I would be looking at. I think that's fair compensation. I don't think we have really any pieces that the Jags would want. They are pretty stout or, on the front. And I don't think we have any real extra players to give them. And offensively, I don't think there's anybody that they would want. So I don't know that a player would help that out unless it's for money reasons. But I would say fair compensation because they're looking for a haul. Like, you give up a top tier corner, you look for a haul. 2 second-round picks in the future first, I think that's a deal. I mean, Khalil Mack, we know, is multiple first-round picks, swap seconds, all this stuff. So there was that, but I mean, you could argue corner and pass rusher on the same level, to be honest. I would as a football person. But just because the uncertainty of how Jalen feels and everything, I would be weary. But either way, I would say 2 second-round picks and a first-round pick, that's as much as we can go. Now, if you want to do a future 7-round pick or swap 6-round picks or, do something with the later round picks, I could listen to that, but I'm not going past that premium return. And Jalen Ramsey, I think, would be worth that. Now, if it's his current contract where it's not really a wait and see year, it's more of a test run because you got 2 years, not 1 year. But even still, you want that long term locked up. But 2 years, what would I give up for that? It's tough to say. I mean, because he is a top tier corner, but I don't know if I could part with a first round pick if I'm not getting him on a new contract. But at the same time, I do understand his value right now because he is smack dab in his prime. So at the most I would give up, because we don't even have a third round pick this year, I would probably give up a first and a third in 2021 if we're talking about him on his current contract. That'd probably be as far as I would go. And again, if you want to do something with 6 and 7 rounds, I can listen to that. But I'm not really giving up our 4th or 5th round picks. I think first and third is fair compensation. And I probably would want to get something back from them, like a 4th round pick. So if I gave up a first and a third for 2021 and I got Jalen Ramsey and the 2021 4th round pick, I'd be perfectly happy with that. So that's what I'm looking at. Why would we want Jalen Ramsey? Some people might ask. It's not a silly question. I mean, not everybody fits. I talk about it all the time. Not every player is made to do everything. And there's a lot of people kind of poo-pooing the Jags because they're saying, well, they're not letting Jalen play man-to-man. He's not as effective because he's playing zone. Well, guess what? We play a whole lot of zone in Chicago. So I would have to feel, me personally evaluating Jalen, that it's not like he can't play zone. That's ridiculous. The man was a safety. He can play zone. Is he better at man? Maybe. Is man more valuable? No, it depends on the scheme. So, but what would it mean for us? It would mean that we could add some different coverage. What we can't do right now is star coverage on a number one receiver. We can't do that because Fuller can't do that and Prince darn sure can't do it. So when you bring in Jalen, whether it's the number one receiver or if you do the Belichick thing where you lock down the number 2 receiver and then double cover the number 1 target, either way, it gives you an extended amount of coverage that you can get. And so some people will be like, top 5 corner, duh. Like, yeah, that's just better. But really how it makes it better is it does allow us to play a different amount of coverage, especially when you got a guy like Eddie Jackson that could stay over the top. And if you got Jalen that could play by himself on the island, now we're talking about focusing 2 Pro Bowls, Kyle Fuller, or 2 All-Pros, Kyle Fuller and Eddie Jackson, on somebody else. And that would be devastating for a team that has an all-pro pass rusher who, at the same time, can't affect the whole game, all game by himself. We don't have that effective pass rush. And I know people keep arguing with me with it. I don't know why. We've been through the tape. But it would give us more time to get to the quarterback. And so it could absolutely change the face of our defense. Absolutely. It wouldn't be just, tossing another fish in the pond. Like, it would be a big change in the things that we can do and that Pagano could do. So I think it's worth it because it's not just like I've talked about Prince on the other side. We want a better complement to Kyle Fuller. But this isn't a better compliment. This is a complete game changer. And so, again, I think with 2 years, I could give up some value. If I could get a contract locked down for an extended amount of time, I'm definitely could be okay with giving up premium picks. Because at the end of the day, if you want to be effective and like be an effective playoff team, you have to draft well throughout the draft. It isn't like, oh my God, we need to hit this first round pick and change our lives. That's not how winning teams are. We know the Patriots usually get out of the first round. We know other teams that are usually in the back will trade back or they try to hit in lower round picks. And honestly, that's where Pace has been better at anyway. But as you accumulate talent, as you accumulate wins, you got to get better with drafting with less and, later. And so it's not going to kill me to give up our second round and first round picks, especially when I'm getting that type of return. But also, I think we got to hit in those lower round picks anyway, just like you kind of saw we had to do this year. and we'll see how that turns out. But that's how I feel about it. So the question, should the Bears go out for Jalen Ramsey? Yes, I think so. And what would I give up? Again, with his current contract, first, third round pick for 2021. If we can get a new deal, I would go with the 2 second round picks this year and the first round pick in 2021. So tell me what you think. Go to the comment section. Would you trade for Jalen Ramsey? What would you be willing to give up? Would you not trade him trade for him if you don't have a new contract? Does it not matter to you? Do you think he makes us better, that much better, or do you think he just, another good player? All those comments, go to the comment section, share it around, get the convo started. Thumbs up, subscribe, and remember, stay up and bear down.